ファミリーコンピュータ用カセットGetsuFumaDen 6月26日発売
GetsuFumaDen hit the Famicom in July of 1987. The game is a platformer that's broken up by these overhead map sections. The player takes on the role of Fuma, who is on a quest to find these 3 pulse blades that have been stolen from his clan. In a lot of ways, the game is similar to some other Konami platformers from the same time, like the first Ninja Turtles game or Goonies 2. The game wouldn't come to America until February of 2022, when it was released on the Nintendo Switch and the PC alongside GetsuFumaDen Undying Moon. This new entry in the series takes a lot of elements from the original game and combines them with the Dead Cells formula to create a very engaging hack-and-slash roguelite. I've been playing a review copy of the game for a few weeks now, and I have to say, I really like it. My first impression was, oh, it's just Dead Cells, but Japanese. But as soon as I beat the first boss, I realized that this game does manage to forge its own identity, even though it definitely does take a lot from Dead Cells. Essentially, the combat, progression, fast travel, and overall presentation will definitely make you think of Dead Cells. I'll stop saying Dead Cells soon, I swear. But once you get a bit deeper into the specific mechanics of the upgrade system, the weapons that are available, and the art style, you can see where the game really stands on its own. The visuals in GetsuFumaDen borrow heavily from Japanese folk art and depict a vision of hell that I don't think I've ever seen explored this thoroughly in another game. The lore of the game is a bit esoteric. There's these stones you can find, and they help to inform the story a bit, but in general, the action is really the main focus of the game. In the Famicom game, you take on the role of Fuma, but I don't think that this new iteration even makes a point to name the protagonist. I have read online that it takes place 1,000 years after the first game, but either way, your goal is very simple. You go to hell and kill a bunch of demons. There's a lot of ways to upgrade your character. In the original GetsuFumaDen, every time you defeated an enemy, you would gain experience points, which would be used to make your sword slashes stronger. In Undying Moon, there's a similar system where every strike you deliver builds towards these demon mode transformations, which make your character stronger. Upgrades like this only last until your next game over, but since this is a roguelite, there are also plenty of persistent upgrades that you can unlock over time. To me, it feels like unlocking these persistent upgrades, like extra health potions, is much more of a grind in this game than it is in something like Hades or Dead Cells. But with all of the other upgrades and items that you can encounter in any given run, it does balance out. You'll be collecting currency, collecting souls, you'll be devouring souls, which is sort of the same thing, but not entirely, and you'll be collecting a variety of different ingredients that are used for crafting, along with blueprints that will expand the number of items that you can craft. It's a lot, and to be honest, the tutorials in the game didn't always help me to fully understand everything. For instance, the soul devouring mechanic was especially confusing to me at first, but I did realize eventually that it works similarly to the upgrade systems in some other Konami games like Gradius or Salamander, where the first time you light up one of these orbs, you'll upgrade your main weapon, but if you don't upgrade that main weapon, you'll eventually collect enough souls to move it over to the next position, and so forth. The game did try to explain this, but their explanation just really didn't connect with me. There's also a lot of weapons to choose from. You can carry 2 main weapons and 2 sub-weapons. The main weapons are generally melee types, while the sub-weapons can be traps, projectiles, bombs, guns, or spells, and there's probably a bunch more that I haven't even unlocked yet. Every weapon has its trade-offs. There are some with more range, some allow for faster attacks, and you'll definitely find something that fits your preferred playstyle. You'll also find yourself using different weapons to take on different enemy types and bosses. The enemies in this game are great. They all have striking designs and unique attack patterns that will push you to really pay attention. The bosses are also great. They're generally pretty fucking huge and present a serious challenge. Overall, I think the game is very solid. Little touches, like being able to see a boss in the background of a level, do a lot to give GetsuFumaDen a unique identity, despite the game taking so much from Dead Cells. The controls also do feel different from Dead Cells. The player character is a bit weightier in a way, and combat feels more grounded. To me, it all feels slower than Dead Cells, but that's not a bad thing at all. It's all very well balanced. The game is not especially long, and once you've completed it, you can go back through on a higher difficulty setting. Seasoned roguelite players will probably rip through this one on normal difficulty without too much trouble. And while it's not the type of game that's getting constant updates that would help to warrant regularly revisiting it, it's still a very solid experience. The game is currently about $25, and to me, that's a reasonable price for what you're getting here. The game also comes with a new port of the original GetsuFumaDen, this time with an English translation. At least, that's what I thought. Apparently, only the menu here is translated, and the actual game is not. I would never openly advocate for piracy on this channel, but I heard somewhere that you can get a pretty good fan translation patch if you were to somehow come into a ROM of the original Famicom title. Anyway, I recommend GetsuFumaDen Undying Moon to anyone who enjoys roguelite games. It was in early access for a while, so the game has had some extra time in the oven, so to speak. And it's nice to see Konami dust off an old title and turn it into something other than another pachinko machine. Have you played either of the GetsuFumaDen games? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and be sure to check out the rest of the channel for more grade A gaming content. We upload new videos all week long, so go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.